nice day today. Right, hello boys and girls. Welcome back. So today, I was hoping we could talk about, well, I was hoping we could. We are going to, you guys don't have a choice. We're going to talk about how to get your motorcycle license here in the UK. What steps do you need to take your motorcycle license for the first time? All in all, it's less complicated than I thought. In the UK, you have to, the first step that you need to take first is, you need to be, I think you need to be 18 or over. Yeah, you need to be 16 to be taking your CBT. What's the CBT? What does it stand for? CBT is your compulsory basic training. It's something that you must take and is only valid for 2 years. It's basically a little certificate that says that you can ride motorcycles that are, I think it's 50cc up to 25cc cubic centimeters. So like little round town bikes basically, and scooters and mopeds and whatnot. And this is only valid for 2 years. And in the whole duration of those 2 years, you must have L plates. So for those of you who don't know what L plates are, they're exactly what it says. They're a plate with a big ass red L on them. It looks really ugly, but you have to have them because it's the law. So at the compulsory basic training, what you'll be expected to do is you'll spend pretty much all day doing it. It's a one-day thing, and you spend the first part of your day just learning to ride. So how to ride a manual bike, so using the clutch, using the gears, how to maneuver your bike around and stuff. It's fairly easy. I'm originally a drummer. So for me it was a bit of second nature, and having to move all around, this hand, this one, my feet. It was fairly easy for me because drumming is so close to what this is, moving your different feet and hands at the same time or at different times and coordinate everything was fairly easy for me. What you'll be expecting to do is in the morning you'll be expected to just learn how to ride your bike. So this is all you're going to do. What to expect? Sorry, this is all you're going to do. You're just going to learn to ride your bike. You'll be learning how to maneuver everything. And in the afternoon you'll just do about, well, when I did it, it was 2 hours of riding around town. So it sounds a lot more stressful than it actually is. Riding around town really isn't that hard, because in the morning you will have learned how to do it. The people that train you won't let you go on the roads without you having learned. If they're not comfortable with your skills of riding a motorcycle. So it's all safe. You're in a safe environment. It's easy peasy. And once you've done your CBT, congratulations. It's not something you can really fail, because I don't think it's actually a test. I think it's a certificate. So you can't really fail it. The only way for you to not have your CBT is really to crash into someone or really, really put yourself or others in danger. And other than that, it's actually fairly simple. And they'll pass you pretty much all the time. The second step to this, once you've got your CBT, so if you're 18, so I'll have to check the, I'll put a description here of the different age groups for the different motorcycles, because I know that there are age groups. But in my case, I was 25 and over when I took my CBT and when I did my riding test, when I took my motorcycle test. The second step you need to take on your journey to getting your motorcycle license is going to be to take your theory test. And it doesn't matter, unfortunately, it doesn't matter if you've done your car test recently. The only reason that it would matter is it'll just be fresh in your head. But it's actually a different test that you'll need to take on your motorcycle. So even if your car theory test is valid for 2 years, this is only here in the UK, by the way. I don't know what it's like in other countries. I haven't done it in other countries. Your theory test will be valid for 2 years. And even if you've just had your theory test, like I did with my car, I couldn't just take the motorcycle test. I had to actually take another theory test for my motorcycle specifically. So it's a pain. It really is. It's it's really annoying because you. What are you doing, mate? And yeah, it's a pain to do, but you're gonna have to, and it's all about repetition, really. It's fastidious, but it's not actually not actually that difficult. I got it first time around. I was lucky enough. Not my car test, though I failed the first time, but I got it the second time around. And my motorcycle one, because everything was quite fresh, I downloaded a really helpful app on my phone. I'll explain what it is in the description below, but it's basically an official DVLA application that you can download on your phone. I think there's a free version and there's a payable version. I don't know what the free one would do, but I would definitely advise you to pay for the full app, because when you get the pay one, you get like plenty of like hazard tests downloaded. So how does the theory work? If you've never taken it, let me just explain. So you've got a first part which is going to be general questions. So it's just going to tell you, like, you know, in such occasion, what would you do? Like, for example, I'm riding right now and I see that the guy puts his indicator on. What shall I do? Answer A, slow down. Look in my mirror, slow down. Make sure that there's no one behind me. You know, accelerate and go past them and whatever. You know, oh, look at this, it's just gorgeous. And these are the like kind of questions that you'll get. And those you're going to need to repeat like several times. You're going to need to work them until they're like drilled into your head. That's what happened to me anyway. I'm not a very fast learner, so I kind of had to drill things into my head and just kind of brainwash myself to it, which worked, you know, in the end. So that was fine. You're going to have a second part to the test, which is your hazard perception. And this is literally just little videos. It's like first-person videos that you watch, and you've got to click whenever you see a hazard that's about to happen. Like, for example, this car here, I would have clicked because I don't know if the guy's actually going to come out. So I would have clicked just when I noticed it. So you just need to be really observant when you do that, and you're just going to need to like look around a lot. Don't spam the button, because that actually is going to fail you, but you just need to click the button whenever you see danger. Now, I play a lot of video games, so I've got good reflexes when it comes to that, especially first-person shooters. So this was kind of a piece of cake for me, because as soon as I saw danger, I just really saw it at the corner of my eye, and bam, there it was. I just clicked, and you know, I got really good points on that. But for some people, it might be a little more challenging. Just, you know, look around the way you would if you were just to cross the street. Like, what danger are you looking for? What hazards can you see in this specific video, you know, that could be potentially harmful to you should they occur? And just click when you see it, and this is just going to gather points for you, and then at the end you're just going to have your points written down, and that's going to decide whether or not you pass your test. Once you pass your theory test, congratulations, first of all. You'll now be free to take your motorcycle test. So what I did is I did something called direct access training. I think it costs a little more than the other training, but it's actually quite good. I did mine in about a week. And the company I did it for were really lenient when it came to like timetables. Yeah, they were really useful with that, because, you know, I was working a full-time 9-to-5 job, and you don't necessarily have time to do it during the week. The only problem being that the actual test that you take, you have to take during the week. It has to be during a work day. So that's a bit annoying, and you kind of have to account for that. Hey. You kind of have to account for that. This will consist of my direct access training and the way it was done anyway. So this was actually like a year and a half after I did my CBT and my theory test. So a long time after, it's a year and a half, so I hadn't actually ridden a bike since. What I did is I took a learn how to ride bigger bikes course with the same company. They all did that. I'll link everything below. They're really good. Then they were really patient. They're called Phoenix Motorcycle Training, and they're all around London. So I took a bigger bike training, and it's essentially you learning how to ride, you know, up from a 125 motorcycle into like a bigger 250cc motorcycle, and then they teach you on a 500. So they kind of leave you on their like little spot. I think it's an old parking lot, I think, that they use, and they kind of just give you the bike, and they're like, so go ahead and ride around, and you do that for like 10 minutes, and then they just give you the big bike. And it's kind of scary at first, but actually it really isn't that bad. You get used to it really quickly, so it's actually not that bad. It's quite comfortable to do it. I spent like half a day riding with the bigger bike, and it was really nice. We just rode around country lanes around here and stuff. But yeah, they just take you riding, and that was spend the whole day that way, you come home, you're knackered. I did that on a Saturday, and then on the Sunday, so the next day literally, I took the Module 1 training. The motorcycle test is in 2 parts, Module 1 and Module 2. Let it rip. What Module 1 is slow maneuvers and emergency maneuvers. The first part is going to be parking your motorcycle manually. What I mean by manually is literally using your hands. You have to just park your bike within like a little area they give you. What I was advised, and it was great advice, is park it reversing it, so that when you then hop on it to go into the next step, that you just have to go. You don't have to like turn around and do all sorts of like weird maneuvers and stuff. Just reverse it in, and it will be easy breezy then to just start again. The second step is slalom. They're going to put bollards on the ground, and you're just going to have to slalom between them. And at the end of your slalom, the third step is going to be the figure of 8, right after you do your slalom. So you're going to have to do slalom into figure of 8, and I think you have to complete 2 figures of 8 in total. The examiner will tell you when to stop. Dude, can you not ride in the middle of the road? Come on. Park it, slalom, 8 figure of 8, U-turn. And the U-turn is essentially, it's exactly what it says. They're going to ask you to do a U-turn on your motorcycle without putting your feet down. It's within a narrow, 2 narrow lines. I think it's 2 meters. It's a strange feeling the first time you do it. Kind of feels like your motorcycle's going to drop. Then you're going to have the high-speed maneuvers. The first one is going to be controlled stop. They're going to ask you to reach, I think it's 20 miles an hour, but my instructor told me just do it at 30, because the rest are at 30. Stop slowly into a box, so you just stop in the box. It's fairly easy. You do that all the time. People kind of stress over this one, but it's really easy. You do that all the time. You stop in traffic. When you see a red light, you stop slowly, and that's it. You're doing 30, and then you stop slowly up to the line. That's basically what you have to do. It's genuinely easy peasy. Second one is emergency stop, and that's it. Again, exactly what it says. It's an emergency stop, so you have to reach 30 miles an hour. Reach 30 miles an hour and then come to an emergency stop. So the guy will measure the speed that you're going at, so it's really important that you do reach 30 miles an hour, and he'll just put his hand in the air, and then that's when you have to stop. And you have to stop in the least amount of distance. You have to use both your front and your back brakes at the same time. What they say is basically 90-10. Use your front brake mainly, and then a little bit of your back brake just to stabilize your bike when you're coming to a stop. And you have to stop as quickly as you can, and as safely as possible. If you skid, they'll fail you. And then the last one, I believe, is the avoidance maneuver or dodge maneuver. And basically what it is, same thing. You just have to reach 30 miles an hour, and once you've reached the 30 miles an hour, you'll have to avoid a bollard that's going to be on your left or on your right hand side, depending on the terrain that you're going to be on. And essentially that's what it is. You ride 30 miles an hour, you just tilt your bike to the right, back to the left, stop when possible where they tell you to stop, and that's pretty much it. It's genuinely, it's easy peasy. How far are you going to go, mate? Like, you may as well just go now. Jesus. Go on, come on. You may as well go through it. Look at him. Avoidance maneuver, dodge maneuver. They're trying to see if in a street situation you'd be able to avoid something that just comes up. Like if someone was parked here on the left and they were to open their door, am I able to avoid it quickly and get back into position safely? You know, making sure that I avoided it. And that's your module 1 sorted. You can take that basically the next week. So I took it the Monday after my training on the Sunday, so it was really good. Everything was really fresh in my head, and I kind of had the muscle memory, because I didn't really have muscle memory because I only trained for like a day. But I passed the first time around. It was really, really good, and I really wanted to take my bike test because I was actually going to the United States the month after, and I wanted to ride a Harley there in the US, and I just thought it would be really, really, really cool to have my license, and that kind of put a lot of pressure on me. So when I actually did take my test, I failed the first time, and there are several reasons. A, I was extremely stressed. I was genuinely sweating all over and everything. It was horrible. I put unnecessary pressure on me with that, with, you know, wanting to go to the US and ride the bike there, and I really shouldn't have. So I would advise you, if you're going to take your bike, take it well in advance and just take your time to do it, you know, so that you don't add extra pressure to yourself. And then module 2 of the bike test is around town riding. So they'll ask you, there'll be like a couple of things they'll ask you to do, like come to a stop on the side and start again. What they're looking for is, are you doing your observations? Are you changing gear correctly? Are you fit to start again? In and of itself is fairly easy, but it's easier said than done, because you know, you have got the pressure of the test and everything, so it is quite stressful. I failed mine because at that point where they asked me to stop on the side and start again, I stalled 4 times in a row. I couldn't start again, and that's because I wasn't in first. I tried to start in second several times, which you can do when you're on a bike. They've got enough power to allow you to do that, but I didn't check because it kind of seemed obvious when I stopped, because I thought I'd gone all the way down to first. If you're about to start, if that's what they asked you to do, get your clutch in and just hammer, literally just hammer that, you know, the like button, yeah! No, but just literally just hammer that clutch down, like hammer that gear stick down as much as you can. See why you need your avoidance maneuvers? That very reason. Yeah, so just, you know, get that clutch, get that gear stick down, like just hammer it, and make sure you're in first before you start. You know, look around, do your lifesaver check, left, right, check your mirrors, indicate and everything. Just make sure that you do everything within the rules, and it should be easy breezy to start. Alright, I'll speak to you guys in a bit.